Good morning and welcome to my classroom. My name is Jennifer Bell and I am a teacher here at LaGrange High School in LaGrange, Georgia, and I'm going to give you a tour of my classroom. So come on in, welcome. Alright, now as the students enter the classroom, I have a check sheet, and as they come in the room, I'm able to circle their name and mark that they're here, and that way it makes bookkeeping purposes quite easy. Each student was randomly assigned a number on the first day of school, and that's how they get their placement in the room, and then their number is according to their desk, and it's also their assigned calculator number. As Sally Sue comes into the classroom, she's assigned number 2 desk as well as number 2 calculator. So she comes, as soon as she enters the room, she's able to grab her calculator and go immediately to her desk and begin working on her bell ringer. Alright, as Sally Sue comes in and gets her calculator, when she walks in, she can immediately see what we're going to do on today's agenda board. So she's in college prep geometry, and she'll be able to see what we're going to do through the bell ringer, what each activity is, as well as what her homework is. So at the beginning of each class, the student is assigned a bell ringer, and here's their bell ringer sheet. So they come in, do their name, and of course at the top of it it says it's their responsibility to begin when the warning bell rings, as well as when they're absent, they're responsible for making up the work. At the end of the week, I collect it. If all 5 days are filled in correctly and completely, then they receive 100 for the grade. Now I'm going to give you a brief tour of various things around the room that I use for classroom management purposes. One is we do words and math. I call it WIM. So the students, when we begin a unit, they get a sheet. This has all 10 vocabulary words, and when they get to 10, we have a test. And on the right side of the agenda board, I have all the words listed so they can review it. So let's say if we're just at the beginning, they'll have them, as we go through them, I list the words, and of course now we're here to 10 because Tuesday they have a vocabulary test. This is today's date in the announcement board, so as you can see, my geometry class had a test Friday, and my Math 1 class has the vocabulary test as well as a unit test. It also has the calendar for the month. For instance, Friday, they're changing our schedule. We're going to have homeroom schedule on Friday so the students are aware of what's happening, and of course the date, because they always want to know what the day is. Here's my personality board that I have up for the students to kind of get to know me. Of course, a picture of my cat, pictures from my recent trip to Costa Rica, and of course, my most recent picture from graduation from Auburn University, as well as little odds and ends about me so that they can get to know me as a teacher and a person. Alright, when a student's out, they come in and they know immediately, they come to this box and they get the folder that corresponds with their class, and there's a memo in it. So I fill it out to the student and the date, did I check homework, did I miss a test or quiz, and then the lesson as well as the homework, so the student is able to make up their assignment without having to ask for it. As well as this is the station where students can punch holes in their paper as well as staple papers and sharpen their pencil. Alright, here's my vocabulary wall. You can see all the different vocabulary words that we work on in my math class. I have 2 simple rules in my classroom: be respectful and be responsible. That's about everything imaginable that a teenager could think about doing would fall into those 2 categories. I use cooperative learning groups in my classroom, and up on the wall here I have the expectations of each of the 4 group members so the student knows what's expected of them. I use SEC football teams to assign group names, and of course, if they're the Auburn group, here's their name label, and it goes into their basket, and that's where the handouts will be and any materials they may need to do the lesson. Skill evaluation for the cooperative learning groups, I call them co-ops. The students evaluate themselves as well as their fellow group members every 4 weeks, and then at the 9-week period we trade teams so that we move around and work with different group members in the classroom. Right. Here you have our essential questions for each unit. Of course, the left side is my Math 1 and Math Support. The right side is my geometry class. It lists the essential questions by unit as well as the individual concepts that we cover within the unit. As the students leave, they turn their papers into the handout hub. Of course, there's second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, and that way it's easy for myself to keep things together as well as for them to turn in their papers as they leave the door and go into the next class. I also have a poster reminding the students of their expectations in the classroom, and that's up here. And it reminds them to bring their materials to class, to pay attention, do their bell ringer, their homework, and put their materials in their notebook. And of course, if they need extra help, to make sure they stay after school for tutoring sessions. Thank you for coming to tour my classroom. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.